YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is both a website exclusive and YouTube exclusive video, and it's exclusive to YouTube if you're actually subscribed to my channel. Over on YouTube, the last one that's remaining, and this is really important stuff, because I'm sure some of you were affected by it, even though a lot of you are awake to everything going on. You're still dependent, unfortunately, on things like Facebook and Instagram. And just like last week with the AT&T blackout, these are all planned and staged, and they show you and do these things ahead of time as part of preparation for a bigger event to occur. And that's exactly what we are headed towards. I will show you what this is all about. But before I do, as we are approaching the fake election in 2024, as we are approaching what everybody can feel around us, which is Shart hitting the fan. When Shart hits the fan, I don't know who you think you're going to call, but I would assume that a lot of you are going to call on a call for an uprising to figure out what might be going on. That doesn't mean that I know more than anybody else, but usually when a lot of these events occur, people seem to come and find me and try to figure out what in the world is going on. And if you are here still, I recommend now that you subscribe to Nations Conspire. That is my new channel. That is where I'm going to be uploading new content here on YouTube. I refuse to let them stop me. I refuse to let them shut me down, whether it's 550,000 subs or 10,000 subs. It's not about numbers, it's about information. And it's about reaching new people. I am not going to sit on a place like Rumble where it's all conservative minds of people who think that they're awake and aren't really anyway because they're stuck in the left-right paradigm. I'm going to stay here on YouTube where I can reach new people, which I've done over and over and over again. But I need your help. I need you to subscribe to my backup channel now, Nations Conspire. If you're watching this on the website, that's my new channel. You can type it into the YouTube search box and find it. If you're on YouTube, look in the comment section below, look in the description box for the link. Take the time to do it now, because this video is not staying up for very long. You can't come back in a couple days and find it. Pause the video and do it now, and make sure you sub, because trust me, you're going to want to be interactive with me and other people who are like-minded like me, who are the people on the website who know what's going on. We've been trying to warn people for years. We warned people ahead of time. With the outbreak hit, okay? There's a reason that people like me are being silenced, and there's a reason that paid government operatives like Russell Brand and Tucker Carlson and all these people are allowed to speak. They're giving you little tastes of truth while they're still keeping you dependent on technology and dependent ultimately on what is coming, which is the mark of the beast. So don't fall for the deceptions that are out there. If there's a reason that I'm being censored, okay? And the reason isn't just that they think that I'm mean and they don't like the sound of my voice. They don't want you to get the information that you get from my channel. So subscribe to my channel now if you haven't yet. It is called Nations Conspire. Now, as for this story, many people out there are obviously going haywire. This is done by design because you've become dependent on technology. The government has been baiting you to become dependent on technology for about 10 years. When this all started with the internet in the 90s into the early 2000s, people were still living their life offline. They've made it so that you live your life online. They've actually conditioned people so much so, like you'll hear in some of these news clips, that they don't know what to do when they can't go online and see this fake reality of what's going on in people's lives. Because again, they've created a simulated reality where people's day revolves around seeing what other people are posting and, of course, what they can post. This is how they're manufacturing human behavior, which people continue to not understand. They don't understand the psychology that goes into all this stuff that's going on. So let's start there. Watch how these news anchors respond, because this is exactly what they've done to humans. Most people are acting the same way that the news anchors are, done by design. Your Tavistock news agents are acting this way by design. okay? Because they expect you to not know what to do with Instagram and Facebook offline for 5 minutes. Well, just imagine when they pull the plug and flip the switch on the power grid for a long period of time. When you actually need to be figuring out how to eat and drink water, you're going to be trying to figure out, how do I get back on Facebook? You're going to go haywire. And they know this because you become so dependent on technology, done by design. Because the more dependent you are on technology, who controls the technology? They do. The globalists do. The same one the alt-right media thinks that they're fighting, yet they tell you to become dependent on technology, right? They control the technology. Thus, they control you. And this has everything to do with prepping you for the digital ID, the Internet of Bodies, and all the other horror that's going to come if we don't wake up and snap out of this hive mind. So watch the news anchors here first. Watch and notice how, oh my goodness, I don't know how to walk down the road. I don't know how to do this. They've programmed you into this. Look.
Everybody, if you were just kicked out of your Facebook or Instagram account while scrolling, you're not alone. Yep. Meta's social media platforms are currently both not working. Both Instagram and Facebook are pulling up failure to load. I know.
That was my screen.
Long. This has been me. Yep. So the Down detector reported over 461,000 outages. This is at 10:37 a.m. Although that number has now dropped. Instagram also had over 25,000 reported outages at 10:51 a.m. Eastern time, of course. But at its peak, over 70,000 people were affected. Wow.
And everyone's talking about it on X and TikTok right now.
That's the only place they can talk about it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're pulling out your phone this morning and trying to log into Instagram or Facebook, it may have already logged you out, and then you can't get back in. There's a nationwide outage, I should say, right now with Meta, which oversees both Instagram and Facebook.
Yes, so people are rushing to X to find out what's going on. And it seems like everybody is in the same boat where all of a sudden everybody was kicked off of their Facebook account. So I know a lot of you like to do the dual screen at home. Maybe you're on your phone and watching us and you're wondering what's happening. Well, it's happening to us too.
There you have it. And I think the fear is across the board for probably everybody. Did I get hacked? No, everything's okay with that. We don't know why this is happening or what caused the problem, but when we find out, we'll let you know. Just not through our Fox 26 Facebook page, okay?
And then hopefully you know your password, because we all forgot our passwords.
We all said at the same time. I don't even know how to get back in. Well, this will be interesting.
Mention it. Yeah, that is the breaking news. At 200,000.
I thought you were kidding.
No. Reported as of 10 a.m. according to downdetector.com. All right, so get out your phones.
Guys, I'm shaking. I don't know what to do. How am I going to make it to the next hour?
Oh, look, breaking. Facebook
it's on
and
top of the
Instagram
AT&T issue just 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. The session expired.
Look at that.
Interesting. Please. Oh, yep, gone. All right, let's check Instagram.
My explore
I'm not picking up my phone.
I feel like
no.
Dr. Mike scared me straight this segment. I'm not touching all of yours.
Seriously though,
yeah, look, it's not working.
If you stop tweeting or Facebooking for a week, people are going to think you're like no longer on the planet.
And keep in mind, Meta owns both Facebook and Instagram, so probably a Meta issue. Twitter's probably up. Let's see.
Mark Zuckerberg's at an important wedding right now, so he shut everything down while he's at that fancy wedding, and he'll get right on that. Isn't that crazy?
X seems to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Elon's good.
He looks good.
Zuckerberg, not so much.
Again, with a developing story, one that might keep you from posting new things on social media.
Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Messenger are now back up, at least for the most part. But this morning, users were being logged off of the apps. The Meta platforms experienced a widespread outage, with users getting errors when they try to access their feeds. Now, this didn't just happen in the U.S. We understand problems have been spotted across the world, with Down Detector receiving more than 500,000 error reports. Meta has not said what caused this problem yet. We do know it had a similar problem in October 2021 when a 6-hour global outage hit both Facebook and Instagram. We will continue to follow it.
First, I want to start with this breaking news. If you're having problems logging into Facebook or Instagram this morning, you are not alone. The Meta platforms are experiencing some technical issues because of a widespread outage. Threads and Messenger are also impacted. This is ironic. Meta's head of communications acknowledged the issues on X, formerly known as Twitter. He said the company is working on getting this all fixed now.
We are continuing to track that breaking news. A major social news outage going on right now.
Yeah, if you saw you were logged out of Facebook, Instagram, or Messenger, you're not alone. According to Down Detector, there are more than 350,000 outages reported on the social media site right now. There are also outages reported on Instagram with more than 54,000 at last check. Messenger also impacted with at least 8,000 outages. It's not clear just yet what's causing them or how long it'll take to be fixed, but we'll keep an eye on this and bring you details once they come in.
Now, Facebook's slowly coming back online after a widespread outage. You probably noticed it at one point. Tracking website Down Detector reported more than 500,000 outages for Facebook and 20,000 for Instagram. Down Detector is also reporting problems with Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, even WhatsApp.
No, Brown, we're talking about the fact that we don't have a why, but what about the how? I cannot help but acknowledge the fact this is happening on Super Tuesday when, candidates are relying on these platforms to talk to people, to communicate with voters, to encourage them to get out today.
Yeah.
How is this impacting them?
NBC News has reached out to the candidates to see whether or not they have any response to this. But again, I mean, for the time being, if you are still experiencing those outages, if those campaign staffers that are running those accounts are still experiencing that, you can't post anything right now. But again, can this get resolved? We'll have to see as the hours progress.
And Brad, it's very early, but no indications yet why, right? We don't know if this is a hacker attack, if it's a update of the system, as AT&T said.
Beyond the statement that Meta said, at least with regards to their issues, they don't have a reason to explain. We don't know what the root of this was.
Does that programming look familiar? Well, it's very familiar. This is probably everybody in your day-to-day life. It might have even been you today. And you shouldn't be acting like that. But this is what they've done to society. Okay, they're doing this because people are becoming so dependent on technology. Now, the second thing is the reaction. We just saw this reaction in a movie called Leave the World Behind. Does that ring a bell? You know how they show us this stuff ahead of time? You remember this scene? This is how people are responding with social media offline. This is them showing you exactly what's going to occur when not only they shut off social media, but shut off the phones and, of course, shut off the power grid, which is part of their plans in the upcoming years here for Agenda 2030. Remember this? This is what it looked like today.
All the roads are blocked. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do right now. I can barely do anything without my cell phone and my GPS. I am made useless. Man, I am begging you, please help my son.
Right, don't even know how to get down the road. Don't even know how to think without the internet, and that's the point. They don't want you to know how to think without the internet because it's about the internet of bodies. It's about connecting you to the internet. But on the flip side, there's a lot of psyops that are tied into these digital cyber attacks. I mentioned the AT&T attack last week. Everybody heard about it, right? Everybody heard about it. It happened at 3 in the morning. By 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the morning, the script was on every single desk across America to report on the AT&T cyber attack or the AT&T outage. Same with this. Every single local media affiliate was reporting on Facebook being offline and Instagram being offline. And what do? Well, they monitor the reaction to these things because you're a lab rat to them. They're watching how you're reacting, so they know how much control they have over you. And when they see trending and they see all these people going haywire, like when AT&T was down, people were putting up videos after the fact. They were going to sue AT&T. I mean, they were acting as if somebody came and assaulted their own mother because to them, that's what it was like. So just imagine when they shut the grid off. So you say, well, why would they shut the grid off if they have that much control? Because think about how much control they'll have when they turn it back on. And they tell you that, well, we're putting everything back on where everything is fixed, but of course you're going to have to comply. Technology is now going to be inside of your body. That way we can never be hacked again. We never have to worry about these things again. And thus we're talking about the beginning of the rolling out of the mark of the beast, which is already here. Now, I just put up a video over on the website about not the Internet of Bodies, which you've heard about, but body internet. Some of these devices that they're promoting that are preparing you for the mark of the beast because they're actually admitting now that humans are conductor of energy, right? That you could be your own Bluetooth with some of this technology that's out there. And eventually what they want to do is tell you that this technology can go in your body. Now we know with the outbreak that a lot of people willingly put a lot of this tech inside of their body. So this is what we're headed towards. And you might say, well, wait a minute, how do we correlate Facebook and Instagram with those types of things? Dependence on technology. Okay, dependence on it. We're talking about Facebook and Instagram. Just think of when we do our fake, or we do, well, when they do what I've been talking about for the last decade or so, a fake bank account attack, a fake cyber attack. And that's the other psyop that ties into this, the prep for the biggest psyop on the face of the earth, which is the 2024 election. The people out there, this is why I'm not allowed to talk, okay? And they're gonna have to come cut my tongue out if they want me to stop. But this is why they pushed the alt-right. This is why all these puppets emerged and the truth movement died. Because they hijacked it. Russell Brand and Tim Pool and all these guys that talk to you as if your vote actually counts. This is part of the simulation. This is how they keep you stuck inside. This is how they prevent a revolution from occurring, where civilians rise up and they say, wait a minute, you're talking about artificial intelligence that wants to enslave humanity, that could kill human. Why are we even debating this? Why are we not arresting these people? Why are we not stopping all this tyranny from happening? Because you're stuck in the left-right, and you think that hope is going to come out of Donald Trump, just like Democrats think hope is going to come out of some Democratic leader. And it's not. So if you stay stuck in that, if you stay trapped in that mindset, then they win. So the biggest psyop we're ever going to see is going to occur with this election, and everybody knows it. It's just a question of what psyop do they pull. Right? Well, how is this for a coincidence? How is this for working the gullible audience out there that thinks they're awake? And when I say that, I'm referring to the alt-right. I'm referring to the MAGA group. I'm referring to the alt-right media, which is a joke. It's a cheap ripoff of people like me and other people out there who have just gone out of their way to get truth out. And then it got hijacked by these people who are trying to keep you sucked into the left-right. The dangers of it. It's an entrapment. So what do you think today is? Today is Super Tuesday. Huh? Super Tuesday. It's a big voting day. Oh, how cool. What a coincidence that this just happens on Super Tuesday and everyone's going, oh man, this is just a test run for when the election comes and they rig it. Newsflash, the election isn't rigged. It's not real. There's nothing to rig because it's fake. It's fake. I've been saying it for years. Everybody out there should know it by now. Okay? What do you think? Oh, they have all this control. They do all this stuff. But you can control, they'll let you control it by voting for someone. Donald Trump, all this stuff with him is building momentum for him. They know they are masters of manipulation and mind control. The CIA has been experimenting with this 100 years plus, when it was the OSS and now it's the CIA. That's all they've been doing. So you don't think that they know by putting Trump in courts and having him oppressed and all this stuff that it's not building momentum and support for him because of how wicked and tyrannical the current government's acting? This is strategically done. They're giving you false hope and then they're hurting you like cattle. That's what they're doing. So we know that the fake election is this year, okay? And I'm not gonna sit here and say it's a rigged election because I'm so sick of hearing people go, it's rigged. The left goes, it's rigged for the right goes, it's rigged for the left. If these idiots would snap out of it, they'd realize it's not rigged. It's not real. Repeat with me, it's not real. And if everybody realized the government was fully compromised by these secret societies and these government agencies like the CIA, the FBI, et cetera, and that none of it was real, the more of us that there are, which is many more than them, could rise up and stop this. This whole thing could end. But if you stay in the left-right, they remain and have constant control over you. Now, back to the technology. Because the cyber attack programming is in place, right? The 2024 fake election. Today is Super Tuesday. Remember, the World Economic Forum for the last 5 years has been screaming and yelling about, well, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when there's a cyber attack. They don't, apparently, everybody out there just hears that and they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Well, why would it happen? Oh, because they're planning one on you. They're planning one. Problem, reaction, solution. Of course, we know the World Economic Forum ultimately wants you to have a digital ID, which many of us believe is the mark of the beast. They want all this technology inside of your body so they can control you. They want AI governance, which is why you're seeing infrastructure destroyed. They want AI governance. That's why you're seeing the police force, defund the police, all this stuff. All done by design. Why? Because everything's going to be through artificial intelligence so they can control everything, including your movements with the carbon footprint. Here are some quotes we've heard from the World Economic Forum over the last couple of years talking about not if, when this cyber attack is going to happen. They're prepping you for the cyber attack, and these little things that they're doing right now are prepping you for the cyber attack. They are experiments. They are tests on you to watch how you react. Listen to them talking about it. Somehow they know ahead of time, just like they knew there'd be an outbreak ahead of time. What a coincidence.
The technology now is, and digital technologies mainly have an analytical power. Now we go into a predictive power, and we have seen the first examples, and your company very much involved into it. But then the next step could be to go into a prescriptive mode, which means you do not even have to have elections anymore because you can already predict and afterwards you can say, why do we need elections? Because we know what the result will be.
Global Security Outlook Report 2023. This is a result of research in collaboration with the forum's communities and our partner Accenture, in which we've interviewed and sought input from over 300 executives globally. The most striking finding that we found is that 93% of cyber leaders and 86% of cyber business leaders believe that the geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 2 years.
But still, pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services. Our society as a whole would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Wow, that's crazy that they know. They must be smarter than everybody. I guess they're smarter than everybody, knowing these things are coming because, well, they're the ones who are planning it. See how it works? Just like the outbreak. Planned ahead of time. We all warned people ahead of time. How did we know ahead of time? How did I know ahead of time? Guess what? I'm not Nostradamus, okay? I am not a prophet. I'm not Nostradamus. You can see what they're saying if you pay attention because they're telling us right to our faces what the plan is, how it's going to go down, and what they're going to do to you. They tell us it every day. People just aren't picking up on it because they're too distracted with their technology. They don't see the patterns. I see the patterns, and you could all see the patterns too, and a lot of you do, which is why you're subscribed to my channel. This is what is planned. Super Tuesday is not a coincidence that they ran this experiment with Facebook and Instagram. Most people will not even care about that. They're just so thrilled to be back online, not realizing how much control they're giving the government who runs and controls Instagram, Facebook, yes, even YouTube, okay? All of these major social media platforms, not just to listen in, not just to monitor, but to control. It's almost like holding ransom over you, which they will have. They will hold ransom over you and get you to comply what they want you to comply with, which I've been talking about on the website with what's going on in Texas, with a lot of these direct energy weapon hits, right? Well, think about these, okay? How, if you're not able to have food and water on standby, which many people aren't, and you're not near clean water, and they say the government comes in like they just, just like this convenient train spill of oil into the water, and the government says, hey, this whole river shut down, they put a fence around it. Where are you going to get it from? Oh, well, the government's going to come to you and say that they have food and water at their FEMA camp. Now, you're going to have a certain something in your body if you want to be able to access the food and water and stay at the FEMA camp while you're homeless after they burn your house down, okay? And you're going to comply based on needing food and water, right? Most people will because dying of starvation is not a fun scenario. Now, these are things that most people aren't thinking about right now, especially on a day when Facebook and Instagram went down, because they're thinking about how can they live without posting their meal for 4 hours on Instagram. I can't. How can they live? They walked up the road. They needed to let everyone know about it. This is how much control they've gotten over humanity. This is where I talk about this on the website. I'll talk about it on my new channel. Okay, so make sure you subscribe now. When we talk about uploading consciousness, right? Everyone hears this stuff and they don't even realize it's currently happening. Okay, people are, without even realizing it, they're uploading their thoughts online. They're and look, you can look at this video. You can say, isn't that what you're doing? No, I'm talking to you. I'm talking about, think about stuff that people are subconsciously posting to Facebook, Instagram. This is preparation to upload your consciousness online. This is what we're headed towards. Okay, this is Mark of the Beast technology. This is where now suddenly you're not posting it, you're thinking it, and it's automatically writing it for you. Okay, this is where Neuralink and this other stuff I've been talking about comes into play. But think about people, they're putting their every thought, their every move into every post that they're making. They're letting you know how they feel about every little thing. Now, nobody really cares. These people don't even realize it. They're being conditioned into this, and they're blurring the lines between the physical realm and the digital realm. And that's where we're headed with the Mark of the Beast. Now, we could tie back into what's going on today, and you're going to see psyops. You're going to see psyops around the election. We know that. That's already in place, okay? These people believe this stuff. They're like, it's rigged. Look, Russia rigged it, the Dems will say. And the Republicans say, look, the China rigged it for the Democrats. It's fake. And the other thing to note is how much control they will hold over human beings, how much control they will have over your life by pulling the plug. That's why we all need to continue to become less dependent on tech. We're in a world where people spend 90% of their day online, okay? And that clip I showed you from Leave the World Behind, and again, we talk about predictive programming with Leave the World Behind and what's coming. Don't forget about all the movies that they use and do that stuff with uploading your consciousness. Don't forget about stuff with the Civil War too, where we have a movie coming out soon. But the way the character reacted, right? That's another subliminal way of saying that your consciousness, your thoughts, everything that you're thinking you need answers to is all digital, right? Oh, everything you do is through a Google search, right? And how many people do we all know that they don't know how to do anything and they Google it, then they think they know all the answers, right? When the government pulls that away for a temporary period, no one's going to know what to do, just like that character. And that's what they're planning on doing. Taking Facebook and Instagram away. Look how haywire people go, right? And then they come back and they say, well, you're going to have your digital ID. You're going to have all these things if you want that stuff back. And they'll say, well, guess what? You'll never have to worry about being offline again because you'll be connected to the Internet of Bodies. They'll be like, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? It just means you'll be online forever. And they'll go, oh, really? And they'll say, you don't even need a phone anymore because it's going to be embedded in you. They're going to go, what does that mean? They go, like, I'm going to get something put in my brain. No, it's going to go actually injectable right into you. Sound familiar? And then they're going to go, well, what's that like? Well, instead of doing a Google search on your phone, now your brain and your consciousness is working with technology and your thoughts are going up right in front of your eyes, right in front of your Oculus. You're going to be able to see these things and interact like you're on a computer screen or on a phone screen. And that's where we're headed. And this type of event that occurs is completely 100% planned and scripted. This one is so ridiculously planned. It shows you how they have people in the palm of their hands with the Psyop election. Because the response to people is half of them are haywire because they can't get online. Well, all of them are. And the other half is going, oh boy, I'm getting ready for the rigged election at the end of the year. And they're just accepting that. They're just going, one side's going to rig it. And they don't realize they're being herded for this event that's going to occur. Red and blue states, all these things I've been talking about and I'll continue to talk about. It's a very important year with the psyops and the false flags that are coming because it's happening now. Agenda 2030 is now Agenda 2025. And this election is the centerpiece of how they're going to move and manipulate human beings in the United States of America like chess pieces. And it all ties into the fake election. It all ties into people's support for one side versus the other. They don't even realize, the right doesn't even realize that they're being herded into Republican communism. It's the same exact thing. Okay, and these are things I'm going to continue to talk about over on Nations Conspire. So make sure you subscribe now if you haven't yet. I'm sorry if I went a little bit off topic ranting about this stuff, but think about the control. The control. Not just, wow, look, they've turned it off. There's the PSYOP that's in place. It shows you the seeds they've planted over the years are ready. The way people responded. They went, it's Super Tuesday. This isn't a coincidence. Instead of going, oh, wait a minute. Maybe this whole thing is rigged with the elections. All overall, it's all fake because they're even rolling out a PSYOP on Super Tuesday to tell you, hey, this is what the future holds on Election Day. And then when it happens, everyone's going, I knew it was going to be rigged. I knew it was going to be. And the answer to that is already going to be in place, right? They're going to think they're freely leaving blue states, going to red states because there's no rights for them anymore because blue states have taken away free speech. They're mandating magic potions inside of people's bodies. This is all strategically done, okay? All of it. The way that the left is being portrayed in society, how crazy they all look. The government agencies know how it looks to sane people like us. The problem is that the sane people are falling into the trap just as bad as the other side has. So chaos ensues. Social media is down for 15 minutes. 4 hours? And people, like the news anchors, the condition and the programming of your behavior, right? What do? I don't know how to walk down the road. How do I get my mail out of the mailbox without me Google searching? Exactly. You're becoming too dependent on technology. They know this, and then they play games with you. And they look at you like a lab rat, or like I always say, like an animal at the zoo. And they figure out how to move you here, how to move you there, how to play with your emotions. This isn't just them going, ha ha, laughing at you. It's watching you, monitoring you. When we always hear about data, okay, the data they're studying is you and your reaction to every single thing that they do. They're manipulating you. No different than if you watch a mouse running, mice running through a maze getting tasered. That's what the government is doing to our society. And now that everybody is so dependent on technology, they have full control. A reminder, if you didn't sub yet, Nations Conspire, it's linked below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're over on the website, look for it inside of a YouTube search box. I recommend it because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make that channel bigger than I made a call for an uprising. I'm that determined to do it. I'm that motivated to get going. Now I need your help. So make sure you subscribe. I thank you guys for being here. God bless all of you as always and your families.